What's going on, everyone? Jeremy from The Quartering, and I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Just one video today, maybe a live stream later tonight. Whew, it's been a busy 4th of July weekend. I already have all 3 videos in my brain hole for tomorrow. Lots of going on in the video game world. Lots of going on in Hollywood with some interesting new news on The Mask and all sorts of stuff like that that we're going to talk about. But today I wanted to put a bow on a story. I normally don't like going to the same well more than once unless it's obviously my queen, Brie Larson. But in the extra credits story, I want to give you a ultra brief 30,000 foot view, but also link my video in the description or in the pinned comment if you're unfamiliar. Essentially, Extra Credits put out this video that is probably the most disliked gaming video of 2019. I can't imagine one that's more. Maybe it was maybe there was a bad trailer or something that came out, but it's essentially, in my mind, the most disliked video game gaming video of 2019. They implied that video game developers should not put gamers in a situation where they would ever be playing the bad guys, essentially. And then they postulated, they suggested that allowing people to play the bad guys will normalize them, and that's a bad thing for society. They talked about situations like in WW2, playing the bad guys, or in CSGO, and how this normalizes things and is bad for gamers. Obviously, the entire thing was ridiculous. They used phrases like forced to. Gamers should never be forced to play as the bad guys. But completely omitting the fact that the customer knowingly purchased that video game, knowing exactly how the video game played. Now, it's not like 1975 or in the 80s, say, and you buy an Atari game and all you have to go off of is the cover and like a JCPenney catalog description of what the game's about. No, nowadays, entire gameplays, walkthroughs are released long before the game ever came out. And, people purchase games, they know exactly what's going on in them. And it just completely ends the argument that you're forcing your players. Now, I misunderstood this the first time around. I think they're actually talking to other game developers, telling game developers that they need to censor their video games to stop normalizing the bad guys. Now, of course, that is a ridiculous assertion, as I play a sorcerer in World of Warcraft, and yet I cannot cast any real-world spells, nor do I really want to be a sorcerer. Well, actually, I suppose I could. I suppose if I could. Anyway, maybe that's not the best. You get what I mean. And their channel has since received the appropriate backlash. As of right now, you can see they put out the video, I think, late Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. They've lost, 4,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 17,000 subscribers. 17,000 subscribers, and it is not slowing down. They're probably looking at this and saying, well, this is probably going to end. The unsub train is probably going to end soon. But it isn't. It's only picking up steam. And now they have, in fact, doubled down. That's right. They've doubled down on their original statement in some weird way to try and get people to stop unsubscribing. I'm not exactly sure. The other thing is, what really I think triggered all these people to unsubscribe was that their community manager is in here antagonizing their own subscribers. This Zolaire, whatever, pronouns in the bio kind of thing. If we go back to the actual original post, was probably one of the biggest ratios and I've seen in a while. She implied that, okay, go ahead, unsubscribe. I don't care. You're all bad people if you unsubscribe anyway. Only bad people could possibly be unsubscribing from our channel after this video. And if we look back, let me find this real quick, because it was pretty spicy. Well, anyway, I don't know if she's deleted it or not, but the actual initial comment was, you know, oh, here we go. I'll read it in the voice I read it in. I don't think that people seem to understand that, one, we fully expect this to happen every time we post every time we've uploaded a Games Are Political video, and two, we love losing all the bad subscribers. Are you kidding me? Less bigotry is great. Dislikes are still engagement. And of course, you get the famous Simpsons meme. And, you know, so you're basically antagonizing your own subscribers to leave. And that has exactly happened. And I sincerely hope it continues to happen. In fact, they might actually drop under... Where does it show how many subscribers? Well, they're probably not going to lose 100. I was thinking, they might drop under 2 million. But there's no... It doesn't look like this is slowing down. Well, they've doubled down on this video and quietly tried to make a small edit. Hey, folks. So this one seems to have struck a nerve. We encourage discussion about the topic, and there is some fair criticism of the video out there. However, I wanted to address some of the comments that seem to have misunderstood the aspects of the video. So right off, you don't take the opportunity to address any of the fair criticism. You write this 4.5-point bulleted list of how you're right and how everyone else misunderstood you. I think if you're going to try and, apologize to your subscribers, so to speak, you're going to want to admit some fault. The best apologies are ones where you just admit fault and don't offer any explanation or don't offer any reasoning as to why. But let's see what they say. We never said that playing as a bad guy turns you into a bad guy. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. However, there are plenty of research about how art and media can shift people's perspective. This is not a good or a bad thing. It's just the natural effect of culture. See, you say it's not a good or a bad thing, but in your video, you finish it all up by saying, we can be better, game developers. We can be better. That implication is that, obviously, you disagree. Please look up the Overton window, or heck, you can watch our video on propaganda over here. So instead of offering any research, you say there's plenty of research. Okay, show me some. But instead you just plug your own video. So no, playing a bad guy doesn't magically transform you into a bad guy. No one is saying that. Well, see, the problem is their video absolutely implied that, in my opinion. They went on to say, when you say something getting normalized is a bad thing, you imply that there's real world effects of playing as a bad guy in a video game. I played Red Dead Redemption 2, and I didn't exactly go out and buy a horse. Number two, we never said that games should never let you play as the bad guys for this matter. If you need the exact timestamp, it's 4:47. There's a lot of potential for some really interesting, impactful game that puts players in the boots of people and are in control of systems that have done incredible harm. But it can't be done thoughtlessly or just as a skin on top of mechanics, devoid of context. Right. That still does not address. So in the video, they say, and you can watch my response to it point by point. I'll leave that linked. They imply that you can't just make someone a bad guy and not use that opportunity to remind the player of the game that they were evil and they shouldn't feel good about playing for that team. You also imply that you should just make teams red versus blue instead of the good guys versus the bad guys in WW2 or something like that. Point three. So they've really done nothing to quell it, and obviously their subscribers. And by the way, if you're an extra credit subscriber, it's just a bad video. Sure, this is making it worse with the double down, obviously, but definitely don't share this video out there so more extra credits subscribers can see exactly the type of people they are. For those saying that it's just a game, that we shouldn't think too hard about it, I feel like perhaps it might be important to introduce ourselves. Hi, we're Extra Credits. our tagline for a very long time is because games matter. It's because we fundamentally believe, and if you don't, that's okay. But our content might not be for you, because thinking hard about games is kind of our shtick. Wow, could you be more sarcastic and condescending? At none of these points do you address the fact that, yes, people are saying it's just a game. But what about addressing the very simple thing that you got incredibly wrong, and that is that players are forced to play as the bad guys? You said that multiple times in your videos, and at no point are players forced to play anything. They make the conscious decision to go buy a video game. They buy a video game that takes place in a fictional world and a fictional video game and play fictional characters, yet somehow you are still perpetuating the age-old video games cause in real life bad things to happen. Now, 4 is where it gets really bad. If you made it this far in the video, hopefully you've dropped a like on it, and I'm looking forward to your comments in the comment section down below. Our writing staff is the same. Somebody mentioned, by the way, they hired somebody who said some junk about Total Biscuit. I'm not sure who everybody's on their writing staff, but I noticed several people responding about that, so I wonder if that's related. We've always talked about politics in games and our other videos. And again, they keep pushing this narrative that, hey, this is who we are, and if you don't like it, unsubscribe. Everybody who had subscribed until this point, okay, everybody who had subscribed until this point knew who you were. You had no problem gaining subscribers up to 2.1 million, always making these videos. You're not admitting that this video in and of itself was the reason everybody's bailing on your channel, and the way your community manager acted is why people are leaving your channel. You're either in denial or you're just doubling down for doubling down's sake, and that is really sad to see for fans of this channel. If it comes as a surprise to you, or you think there's been a large shift in our thinking, I invite you to look at some of our older episodes. Again, telling me to watch more of your old videos, pass. We live in a we live in a time where, here we go. We live in a time where neo-bad people exist. Yeah, like 4 of them. All right? You have a channel reaching out to 2.1 million people, and you're worried about like 4 fictitious bad people that might exist. You know, there are bad people of all types, okay? There are people that believe the opposite of that. And we don't talk about them either, right? We have all sorts. There are probably more people out there who had gone to that dude's island, you know, looking for a good time with kids, okay, than there are people you're referring to. I guess I don't know how to be more clear about it. You're pushing an ideological point with really no self-awareness about statistics. All right, when you have millions, hundreds of millions of people, you're going to have some bad seeds in there. Nonetheless, they continue, and they seem to have been increasingly found. They have seemed to have increasingly found a home in gaming communities. Freaking Picard facepalm. All right, they've also increasingly found a home shopping on Amazon.com. They've also increasingly found a home working at McDonald's. You're taking a cross-section. If you take a cross-section of society, you're going to have some bad seeds, but you instead choose to focus on them and make them seem like they're everywhere. Why do you think that is? Why do you think, if you really want to get serious about it, if you want to know how I feel about it, it's a tactic. It's using fear to control people. That's what I believe it is. This isn't something that we can turn a blind eye to anymore. And it's important to consider what we as game designers can do to make things better. Again, so you're trying to implicate that playing these people in video games makes you do things in real life. As said, there have been some very valid critiques of this video, and we greatly appreciate that. Name one. Name one. You typed all this out. You didn't address that you were wrong in any way. In fact, you just used this to push people to more of your videos. Most important to us is to start talking about these topics. Oh yeah, we're going with that excuse now. Everyone hated our video, but we still win because we started a discussion. I'm sure you were planning on bleeding tens of thousands of subscribers. Yep, I'm sure. How woke of you. Most important is for us to start talking about these topics and have conversations in design. For those of you who have kept civil in the comments, thank you. For those of you who need a reminder, our COC can be found here. Now, if that's a joke, if they're saying, you know, I mean, you have a code of conduct that you live by and apply to, but you just accept no responsibility for how brainless this video was. You accept, I mean, this is the truth right here. You want the truth? This is the truth. On a weekend, by the way, on a weekend where we had the 4th of July, okay, where traffic is just down for you probably would have lost double these subscribers if you had released this video next week. Double that. Think about it. 10, 12, 15, 17,000. You would have lost 30, 40,000 subscribers, in my opinion, if you released this next week. It's not us. It's you, you morons. Hope you have a great day.